Welcome to GPCA TV and to the 14th Annual GPCA Forum. My name is Mark Thomas, I'm the Markets Editor for Chemical Week magazine, which is owned by IHS Markit. I'm joined today by Niam Sinno, who's the Associate Client Partner at Korn Ferry. Niam, today you came along to the Leaders of Tomorrow session and it was a packed audience, a lot of the young generation there, the future of the industry. Your presentation was about leadership and the power of choice. I just wonder if you could tell us a little bit why you chose that title for the presentation.
Thank you for having me for the second time around at the GPCA Leaders of Tomorrow program. It's always my pleasure to be here among the young, aspiring millennial generation who want to learn about leadership and who want to take charge of their career. The reason I chose the topic of leadership for today is that it's the topic with the most controversy when it comes to defining what makes a true leader, what makes a great leader, what makes a transformational leader at our very challenging and changing times. And the reason it also has the power of choice with it is that we have the choice to determine what kind of leader that we want and what kind of path we would like to go on for our own personal development and career development.
There was a lot of good feedback from the audience today. I just wonder if you could give me some insight into how they see the industry going and their reaction to your advice. What was the sort of feeling that you got from the audience today?
I was in the presence of a highly energized group. Almost 150 people have attended the workshop, some of them coming into the conference for the first time, and for some this is their first conference. And I think what unites the people who have attended the program is their desire to be in STEM and in the petrochemical industry. And that speaks volumes for me, because STEM is very important. Science makes the world go around, and technology is very important as well. And yet we find declining interest in STEM majors among university students. We find declining interest in STEM careers. And if we look at the global trends, this is a global issue. It's not a GCC countries issue. So we need to do something about it. We need to bring the cool back into STEM. We need those people to find their contribution in STEM careers and education as well. And this is one point out of many that I'd like to emphasize here.
Is that a particular issue for the GCC region, would you say? Is it something that is particularly special to this region? I know it is reflected probably globally, but is there a particular point of interest here?
Looking at the statistics about universities and where people are majoring nowadays, most people want to be in the arts or in the humanities. And we see a big influence of the social media influencers. Everybody wants to be a social media influencer. And science and math are not seen as a priority or as being cool anymore. So we want to bring the cool back to science and math and STEM and the petrochemical industry in general, because our destiny relies on it and we cannot leave our destiny to chance. We have to do concerted efforts in order to enhance it.
You made a particular point during your presentation and you referred to the iPhone development as an analogy. Could you just quickly talk about that for us?
Yes, so during the workshop I gave the audience the hypothetical situation where I'd either offer them an iPhone 1, which is the first generation of iPhone that Steve Jobs showcased, and it would be for free and for life, but with the limitations of an iPhone 1, as opposed to an iPhone 10 or 11 paid with the operating system and the applications that the iPhone 10 or 11 have. And then we went around the audience and everybody opted for the iPhone 11. And then when asked why, they said, because even though the iPhone 1 would be for free, I wouldn't be able to utilize it in our times. And that was an aha moment for a lot of people, and it brought the message with it that our mindset, which is the operating system that we rely on as humans, needs to be continually updated in order for us to cope with modern times and challenges. So that was the point behind the iPhone analogy, and I think it resonated very well with this generation, because one person said she would opt for iPhone 1, but she'd still want to use Instagram, Twitter, and the likes, and I said that wouldn't be an option, so she went ahead and changed her answer to go back to the iPhone 11.
Okay, that's great. Now, lastly, again, there was about 150 people in the Leaders of Tomorrow session. It's a program that's been going on for some time now, and it seems to have developed real momentum within the industry and amongst those who participate in it. For all those who were attending today, is there perhaps a key takeaway that you would like them to take away from the event with them, something that they would keep in mind as they go forward through their careers?
So one main takeaway for me is that the future belongs to those who take charge of it, who seize the opportunities, and to those who can see the social and personal and workplace-related obstacles, but decide not to stop there and decide to treat those obstacles as challenges on their way of development, and decide to treat everyone and everything that happens to them as a teacher, and approach the world from a learning orientation, continuous learning, continuous feedback, as opposed to a proving orientation, which is something I explained in the program very well, the difference between those two orientations and what it does to your confidence, to your development, and to your prospects in life, in work, and everywhere.
Okay, Niam, that's great. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.